Dependency can very easily happen with dementia residents. Dependency on their main visitor or main support person, whether that's their husband, wife, daughter or son. Dependency can happen quite quickly. Now, especially if they're depressed or anxious. If they're depressed, then they won't want you to go, they'll want you to stay. They'll be nervous, they'll be upset, they'll be anxious as well maybe. And although this is understandable initially when the person comes into the dementia unit, in time that dependency needs to settle, because long term, if there is that dependency, then it becomes too overloading for the support person, and also the dementia resident doesn't get to socially engage with others in the dementia facility. So for example, if your mother is downcast when you come and visit, she's eyes down, low spirits, no motivation, and she only lights up when she sees you, and all she wants all day is to see you. That's it. She calls out for you all day, all week, and unless you're there, she's depressed and down, and nothing can lift her spirits other than that. What to do about that? Well, really, it's a matter of easing your mother into a social situation, because the thing is, if she can talk, if she communicates with you, that means she can communicate with other ladies. But sometimes what happens is the person gets so depressed and anxious, often a combination, that all they want to do is to talk to you and you alone, and they just ignore everyone else as if no one else exists. So they refuse to talk to other people even though they can, and they only talk to you. Now, this becomes problematic actually in the end, because what can actually happen is that if your mother doesn't socialise with the other ladies, then the ladies, or men, then the other dementia residents will stop socialising with her. And then she'll become isolated, more lonely and more depressed. So that's why it's important at the beginning, as soon as you can, once she's arrived at the dementia unit, of course, there has to be a space, 2-3 weeks, for support, encouragement, etc., when they're going through that transition. But as soon as you can, even I'd say in the second week, start to go with her to the newspaper reading or any other activity in the day. And even if I don't want to go, I don't like being with all those women, I'm frightened, I only want to be with you, whatever the refrain, still, you need to say, look, Mum, I can understand your situation. I know you want to see me, and I do visit regularly. I come in every day, but I can't be here all day. I've got the family and everyone at home to attend to. Oh, I know. But the thing is, it's just not practical. We have to approach this in a practical way. I mean, I can come for an hour a day. I don't live far away. I don't mind seeing you for an hour a day, but I can't stay all morning or all afternoon. I mean, you've got 7 other hours in the day that you need to occupy yourself and be busy, or at least engaged. And that's why this facility has activities, so that you can go to them and join in and be engaged. And it's that way that you'll get to know the other men and ladies. And if she resists and says, she doesn't want to, and then you really need to just put a little bit of pressure on and say, look, Mum, we're all having to make the effort here. I'm making the effort coming in to see you, and I'm happy to come in and see you. That's not a problem. But you can't become dependent just on me. You need to make your other friends now that you're living here. And you're not going to do that unless you go to the activities. And I'll go with you. I mean, I'll come along, you don't have to go into it all at once. We can sit in the second or third row for a week or two till you get the idea of it, and you'll get to meet people, at least recognise them or know them, and they'll get to know you. And then we can quietly work up to the front row. So you've always enjoyed the press reading, and you've always enjoyed reading the newspaper anyway. And now that your sight's not that good and you can't read the paper that well, It's good to go to the newspaper reading, and then you can discuss things with me when I come and visit. Otherwise, you've got, it's nice to have things to talk about to each other when we see each other too. And that way you can learn about what's going on and keep up with it. And, she'll understand that. And it's just encouraging your mother to make an effort. It can't just be one person making all the effort. That just does not work. It has to be an equal combination of effort. As much effort as you're making, your mother needs to make that effort too, at least to try, as best as she can. Of course, if she's really depressed and really upset and really down from being in the unit, it's difficult, of course, but at least she can smile. She can make an effort to smile when she sees you and to try and cooperate with meeting the other ladies and making friends. Because once she's made friends and she goes to the activities, really the depression will lift, the anxiety will settle, she'll integrate and it will be okay. But it's just getting her through those initial stages and working through that with her. Sometimes people think that, with dementia and with their relatives with dementia, they'll just come and sit and comfort them and look after them and, sympathize and just be there for them. And while that's good in part, it's actually important to motivate them to be engaged, to be involved, to make friends, to be part of the unit, because this is their home now, this is their community, and they need to get to know people in the community. Otherwise, they definitely will be isolated. People only make an effort to be friends with you if you make an effort to be friends with them. If you make an effort to be friendly to them, they'll make an effort to be friendly to you. Otherwise, dementia residents will just pass by and maybe wave or say good morning, but they won't make any more effort than that. So in this way, if you encourage your mother to speak, encourage your mother to speak to the other residents. When she has meals, for example, you can go with her to 1 or 2 meals a week. And when you're sitting there, say to your mother, if you're doing all the talking, the other ladies are speaking, but your mother's not saying anything, just say to her quietly, come on, Mum, you can speak up, speak to the other ladies and encourage her whilst you're with the other women. I mean, they won't hear you. You can just say, come on, Mum, it's important for you to say something as well. Just whisper in her ear. And in that way, she'll be motivated to say something. I mean, it's not forcing, it's just encouraging. It's not putting on pressure, but it's being realistic for her to know the situation, that if she becomes dependent on you for just 1 hour a day and she doesn't make any friends, well, it will be a lonely existence for her, relying on one person in your life. You can't do that. And anyway, it becomes too much for the person that's supporting, because it's too much pressure on them. And if everyone makes an effort, then it evens and irons everything out so that it's a fairer arrangement for everyone involved. I mean, there's so many challenges with a dementia unit, and so much support can be given to the resident, but ultimately they have to make an effort as well. And then if they can do that, and if they do that, if they can be lifted out of their depression, or if their anxiety can settle enough, with all these mitigating factors, like taking them for walks to settle anxiety, setting up their room so that they're comfortable, etc., then they're in a position where they're comfortable, they're warm, they're getting their walks, they're getting visits from you, they're getting support, then they are in a position really that they can make that effort. So thank you. I've written these 2 books, The Resident's Voice and The Resident's Rise, both from a dementia unit, both on Amazon and on my website, pietavalentine.com. So thank you for your subscribing, and for the viewing and the comments. And please pass on these links for people that are working with people with dementia. And thank you for your support and your comments and your views. Thank you.